James Lynch here for MMAnews.com. Happy to be joined by Neil Magny, who is now going to be fighting former UFC welterweight champion Robbie Lawler coming up here at UFC Fight Night on August 29th. Neil, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, dude. How are you?
I am doing great. It's good to catch up with you. You know, it's pretty rare to have a replacement opponent that in some ways is more notable than the guy you're supposed to fight. How excited were you when you found out about this fight? Because not everyone gets to fight Robbie Lawler.
Dude, I was super excited. I mean, when Sean Shelby gave me a call or sent a message over saying it was a no-brainer for me, dude. I literally just like, it wasn't even a thought where I was like, yes, let's do it. Like, it wasn't even a point where I had like call coaches and get it cleared, anything like that. It was just an automatic yes. And I'm super excited for this matchup. I mean, to be able to fight a former world champion, a guy who's most people in the division fear, like, this is the kind of fight that gets me excited.
Yeah, it certainly is. You mentioned talking directly with Sean Shelby. Do you not have a manager that does that, or do you do all your fights yourself?
I do it all myself currently. I mean, it just helps me stay a little bit more accountable as far as who to blame when the fights don't go my way. I mean, if my career doesn't play out the way I want it to, it's not because of anyone else, it'll be because of me.
Good for you, man. No, I know a few fighters who've done that. I was speaking to Lauren Murphy a little while back. I know she does the same thing, just emails directly with the UFC. So good to see, you're sort of in control of everything, which is awesome. I wanted to say, though, are you surprised to fight Lawler? Because, we don't really know where he's at this stage in his career. Like, I'm sure he's not, dying to fight everyone. Like, you must feel pretty good that he accepted a fight with you and thinks it's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, to have a guy like Robbie Lawler actually reach out to UFC and say, hey, I want that fight, that just lets you know that I've been doing the right things. I mean, to have a guy who's a former world champion, a guy who's a veteran of the sport and UFC, actually reach out and say he wants to fight me, that just lets you know I'm doing the right things throughout my career and in the sport myself. So that was just super exciting getting that call from UFC.
How do you feel like you match up against Lawler? I'd be pretty surprised if this fight ends up hitting the mat.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like match up against him pretty well. I mean, he's a guy I used to train with when I first got started in MMA. So seeing how his career progressed over the last 10 years and how my career progressed over the last 10 years, I feel like we match up very well with one another, and it'll be an exciting fight.
So you used to train with him. Sorry, did I hear you correctly there?
Yeah. Robbie Lawler actually owned a gym that I trained at in college. Him, Matt Hughes, and Mark Diori purchased the Hit Squad, opened up when I was.
That's right. Oh man, you're totally bringing me back down memory lane. That's so cool. so that's okay. So that kind of makes a bit more sense because he at least obviously he knew about you because you guys used to train. What do you remember about that training back then? I mean, you guys are both different fighters now, but that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the training back then was tough. I mean, being a 19-year-old kid, getting to spar a guy like Robbie Lawler, I mean, it was a real eye-opener for me. I mean, those are the sessions where it really made me question whether or not this is what I want to do for a living or not. And sort of passing that test against Robbie Lawler back in the day gave me the confidence, like, you know what, I'm ready to fight for the UFC. I'm ready to make this my career, and I'm ready to go all in for it. So I'm actually grateful for those experiences that I had back in the day.
Now, I spoke to Austin Hubbard yesterday, so this is usually where I ask you who you're training with, but I sort of got the gist from him, probably Justin Gaethje and everyone else there. I mean, you guys are all getting ready. I know Overeem's got his fight coming up too. How's the vibe right now at the camp? And did I miss anyone as far as main training partners?
We have a couple of ladies that are fighting up soon. We have Shauna Dotson is getting ready to fight here. Mallory Martin is getting ready to fight. Den Rosa's recently joined our team. She's getting ready to fight. So we have about 6 solid fights over the next 3 weeks for Elevation Fight Team here. But everyone's looking good. I mean, the gym is at all-time best right now. I mean, we have a good attitude from the coaches and from the fighters themselves. So I'm actually excited to see what the team does over the next couple of weeks here.
How's the weight cut going getting to 170?
Oh, great. I mean, for me, the weight cut's never an issue. I mean, it's like I said before, it's a matter of me just cutting out some bacon, adding some vegetables, and I'm right on weight. So the weight cut's never an issue for me at all.
Well, reason I bring it up is because, like, being a dad, I know sometimes it's tough when, you're trying to prep meals or whatever. Like, it adds that extra, sort of, thing to your schedule as far as, like, prepping food and all that. So for you, it seems like it's been pretty seamless.
No, we're rolling right along. I mean, one of the things that was difficult was getting a full night's worth of sleep. My son would kind of, I can hear him cry through the baby monitor from time to time, and that would wake me up throughout the night. So I was waking up probably 5-6 times a night from every little sound that he made. But recently my wife kind of took control of that and was like, all right, you get your full night's rest. I'll take care of the baby throughout the night and just do what you have to do. So they're appreciative for that. I mean, that goes a long way, getting a full night's rest, going into training camp and going into fight week.
Yeah, that's what my wife and I did. Like, I gave her the night shift. I took the morning shift. Like, I get up really early though and help. But yeah, that's glad you got that figured out because those 8 hours, man. I don't know how you are, but I need those 8 hours, and I'm not even getting punched in the face. So I can only imagine for you, you got to be at the your highest level, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 8 hours is the minimum for me. I mean, there's some nights that I'm literally sleeping through like 10, 11 hours a night, just being from the exhaustion that I get throughout training camp. So I'm never appreciative for my wife being able to step up and take control of that and allow me to get the rest I need.
How's this fight playing out in your opinion on August 29th? It's really interesting. Lawler, a bit of a layoff coming into this one, but still very dangerous. We know he's got that knockout power. How do you see the fight unfolding?
I feel like it's going to be an aggressive fight. I mean, from the beginning bell to the end bell, it makes the end bell. Robbie Lawler, like you said, is coming off of a pretty long layoff. His last couple fights didn't go his way. One was controversial. One was a bit frustrating. So I can see him coming out and literally just swinging for the fences as soon as the first bell rings. So that's the kind of fight that I expect. I expect a fight that's going to be us meeting the center and just trying to see who falls first.
I think we can agree this is the biggest fight of your career in terms of the name you're fighting, a former UFC champion. Where does a win put you over Robbie Lawler, in your opinion? Because I think it's going to – you look at some of the guys that have beat Lawler before, they've had really big opportunities after that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if I look at at my career over the last couple of years, where I fell short, where I needed to really make a break, it was in fights like this. And I think that a win over Robbie Lawler kind of catapults me to the top of my division and allows me to pursue that title. If I look at the last couple fights he and I've had, I mean, RDA, for example, RDA was able to get the win against me. He beat Robbie Lawler. His next fight was for a title. Covington, similar story. So I kind of know what's ahead of me here going against Robbie Lawler. And it kind of puts the pressure on me, kind of like I said earlier. Like it's not a management call. It's not a coaching call. It's about what I go out there and do. I go out there putting a dominant performance against Robbie Lawler. The opportunities are endless for my career.
How's fatherhood treating you? We talked about the switch up in sleep schedule, but I'm sure it must, sort of add another, piece to your life. Just getting to be a dad, it's fun. I mean, I know my son's going to be 3 in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been great. It's been it's been more of a motivating factor than I thought it would have been. I mean, having this baby that I can't give an excuse to, it kind of lets me go out there and really just leave it all out there. Like there's no, I can't just tell him like, hey son, I tried, I came up short. Like, no, I have to go out there and get it done for him. So it's been super motivating for me. He just kind of took away every excuse that I can possibly have. It just lets me know that every opportunity I have is for him, for his future, and for the betterment of our lives. So it's been super motivating for me.
Neil, so happy to see you get this fight. It's long overdue you get an opportunity like this, man. I'm really happy for you. It's going to be UFC Fight Night coming up here August 29th. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs or thank yous or anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, Neil Magny _170. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Go ahead and give me a follow there. I tend to post everything on there as far as my training camp, my family life, sponsors, and all that kind of stuff. So just go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and stay tuned for all the good news I have coming up.